Right now, I want to welcome to the program from Pinal County, Arizona, Sheriff Paul Babeu. And Sheriff, thanks again, sir, for joining us tonight.
Cam, thanks for having me on, brother.
Hey, congratulations on a big bust there in Pinal County. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it was historic for our entire state. Literally, we had 76 cartel members from the Sinaloa cartel. This is one of the most violent cartels, most powerful in Mexico. Chapo Guzman is the head of it. He's a billionaire, to give you a sense of how much money. So what we have done, this is over a year investigation, and we work with all of our partners in law enforcement, locally, the state, even federal. We had Border Patrol and ICE agents. They're heroes. They do a great job. It's the people up top who are screwed up. And we struck a body blow to the Sinaloa cartel, not just arresting 76 individuals. We also confiscated 108 weapons. We also stopped what is 60,000 pounds a month of just marijuana. And then we have, in addition, all kinds of methamphetamine, black tar heroin, white heroin, and cocaine. So when you see this is on the size of literally $2 to $3 billion over the last 5 years. It is a historic bust for the state of Arizona, which, of course, everyone knows. If you didn't, you should. Not that this is a title we want, but the major smuggling routes in the United States come through Arizona and right through my county. So we stood up. We're bringing the fight directly to the cartels, who are the enemy, not only of Mexico, are the enemy of the United States. They think they can bring their violence, their drugs, and their trash here to America, and we're standing up and saying, this is America. You're not bringing that violence and those drugs and that trash here. We're going to stop you.
Now, as I understand it, Sheriff, a couple of the guns that you recovered were actually guns sold during Fast and Furious.
Yes, actually, two of those 108, 109 weapons now were confirmed. They are tied back to Fast and Furious. And what's interesting is the response by the federal government when asked these direct questions is, we do not confirm trace information on weapons. Well, hello, this is where the gig's up. We want the truth. This is a scandal. The guns are out. The ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, has facilitated 2,000 guns, as most people know. And if you don't, you need to know. As a citizen, you have this responsibility to know. 2,000 weapons, semi-automatic AK-47s, easily converted to fully auto, 34 50 caliber sniper rifles. One of them has already been used, according to the Mexican government, to take down one of their helicopters. And 200 plus people in Mexico have been murdered with these weapons. And also in the United States, 11 crimes have been committed that have been tied back to these weapons. And the hero in our Border Patrol, Agent Brian Terry. This is a man who served our nation in the United States Marine Corps, served our communities as the local police officer, and he's murdered in my state with two of these weapons that our own Department of Justice, Eric Holder's in charge of that agency, has been covering this up. People have been fired, people been resigned, people moving around, getting promoted, told to keep quiet, concealing information. Who speaks for Brian Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Who speaks for this hero that's been murdered, who gave his life in defense of our country, and these people are covering this up? Well, we're going to drag them into the light of day to demand the truth. This is a free republic, and we demand and expect accountability here.
You know, Sheriff, let me ask you, we saw yesterday Lanny Brewer, the head of the criminal division at the Department of Justice, testify before a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee, and he was asked by Senator Dianne Feinstein about what could be done to help go after the cartel. She said, you know, really too much attention is being paid to Fast and Furious, and we're not talking enough about what we could do to go after the cartels. Mr. Brewer suggested that a national firearms registration system would be helpful in order to go after the cartels. A ban on semi-automatic firearms would be another useful tool that we could have. What's your reaction to hearing those proposals from the Obama administration?
It's sickening. It's not surprising. It's sickening. that for 2.5 years I've heard the drumbeat from this president, Barack Obama. Of course, we would never vote for this guy. And Eric Holder and Janet Napolitano, all these clowns that have been saying that and blaming America. This is where we've arrived at in America. That he goes on this world apology tour, and then he starts blaming us now for all the problems of Mexico. 90% of all the guns the president and Obama and Eric Holder say that go to Mexico come from the United States, which one is a lie. Two, the fact that he just blames America and our honest, law-abiding gun dealers, saying that all these they're just letting these guns be sold to all these people that bring them to Mexico. And then, lo and behold, we find out it's these people.
Yeah.
We find out that it's Eric Holder and his Department of Justice. So these people have been building the case, and now we only find out because a hero in our Border Patrol had to be murdered, and then they still tried to cover it up. It took months for all this stuff to come out. And the same scam went on 2 days ago. When we announced this, and one of the leaders in ICE, he tried to deflect and try to just make like there's nothing here for you to see. Just move on, move along. And then I told the truth. I confirmed the fact that this is what happened. Because you know what? I don't work for these people. And you know what? This is our government. When are we going to stand up for America and stop apologizing for our country, be proud of our country, defend our liberties, defend our freedoms, and secure this border, and to stand up for our law enforcement instead of arming the most violent criminals in North America who are killing our heroes?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, you're not going to get any argument from me, Sheriff. You know, in fact, I thought it was interesting that Senator Feinstein and Mr. Brewer were in essence saying that our gun laws need to look more like Mexico's gun laws. I mean, why on earth would we want that?
Here's what they said. The Attorney General of Mexico, she said that she wants those responsible in our U.S. government to be extradited to Mexico and face criminal charges in their country. And you know, when I tell people in Arizona that, they stand on their feet and they cheer, because this is outrageous that we're a republic, that we would do this to our neighbor. Mexico is a stated ally of the United States. As a retired Army officer, I know the Geneva Convention, what it says, and the fact that if we arm influencers or paramilitary organizations in a country like Mexico that has destabilized 43,000 people have been murdered in that country. 11 mayors have been killed, judges, police chiefs, and the president, Calderon, has declared war in his own country against these cartels. Who's winning this war? It's not Mexico. And the fact that we have helped to arm these criminals against a stated ally of our country, it rises to the level of an act of war. And it's like, is this our new foreign policy?
No.
Forget Eric Holder for a second. Why doesn't Janet Napolitano, who's supposed to secure that darn border, why doesn't she know that 2,000 guns crossed this border? Why doesn't Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, this is a foreign country, how come she doesn't know anything about this? And if she doesn't, who's going to be fired for this? Who's going to be accountable for this?
You know, and I'll ask one more question. I'm curious what you think about this, because the president of Mexico, Felipe Calderon, has not brought up Fast and Furious. He too has said he would rather focus on pushing things like a ban on semi-automatic firearms here in the United States. I find that to be a little curious as well, Sheriff.
Well, and this is where it's the height of hypocrisy, all of this stuff, and the fact that President Obama has a foreign leader go to our seat of government in Washington, D.C. He's in the well of the House, and the Democrats give him a standing ovation when he punches Arizona in the gut against our laws because the federal government's not enforcing the law. They're trying to handcuff our law enforcement here from doing our job, and then he calls for a ban on assault weapons. Well, of course, Obama's going to do a cartwheel and a high five and 10 push-ups and think that he's the catch me out. Well, what about being the cheerleader for America? What about standing up and saying you're proud of America? He's asked about American exceptionalism, and he goes, well, France, they think they're an exceptional people. In this other country, knock this stuff off. It's not even about being PC. If these people don't even believe in our country and cheer for us, no wonder why the core, the essence, the documents that are the core of who we are as a free people that guide and protect our liberties, no wonder why they're assaulting our rights and our liberties. And this is where we as a free people have to stand up and say, no, this is not where we're going. And all these things, it's not just about these rights. Look at what they've done. They've tinkered with the purity of our economy. The free market. It's like owning parts of the major banks, the insurance companies, the auto industry, and now a takeover of healthcare. Mm-hmm. This is looking more like a European failed state. And if we continue going down this road, and this is where Obama, his only message now, out of a 10% unemployment, there's communities in my county with 21% unemployment, and his response is more stimulus and more taxation. Well, how did that work to create jobs? It failed. And we got to stop this from happening.
Absolutely. Sheriff, listen, I can't thank you enough, sir, for coming on the program. Thank you again. And by the way, I understand that you're going to be at this fundraiser for Brian Terry's family on November the 12th in Scottsdale.
It's my privilege, and the Terry family is going to be there, and I just can't wait to meet them in person. And I know Kent Terry, who I've communicated to, talked to, is listening to your show right now. And I just want to say to the Terry family that it is our privilege. I had 5 Democrat sheriffs, 5 Republican sheriffs. We are standing up not only for the honor of your brother, who's a hero of our country. We are standing up for America and our liberties, and we will not rest until we have justice, until we get to the truth and hold people accountable who have betrayed our trust in our republic.
Sheriff, thank you again for your time tonight, sir. I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Thanks, Cam.
Sheriff Paul Babeu joining us from Pinal County, Arizona tonight on Cam and Company.